Oh, okay, I guess that doesn't work too well with the mask.
I know very little about this mask. Apparently it's supposed to help with acne.
This is something that I would pay kind of a lot of money to do.
Light therapy acne mask.
It's a one-stop treatment.
I'm hoping that I don't feel anything.
So I'm just gonna take some of my makeup off. All right, guys, here's what I really look like.
It feels a little tight.
It feels slightly claustrophobic. I am a little nervous to press the button. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
This is overstimulating.
So apparently you're supposed to be able to multitask while wearing this.
Kind of tied up in a meeting right now.
I have to hold my phone here, which is like pretty awkward.
Gotta take a quick selfie.
You can't even see my eyes in it.
I feel like I'm like at a dance party or something and they just turn the disco lights on.
Okay, so that was fast.
I might be a little tanner.
Maybe a few blemishes are a little lighter.
If I did have one, I would use it as like a punishment. Like if you lost a board game, you have to wear the mask.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Haywood, and I'm so thrilled that Roma Downey is here with us to talk about LightWorkers.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
I feel like right off the bat, I have to issue a very loving warning, which is that as soon as you sign on to LightWorkers, you better have 5 or 6 hours to kill. Because even though the videos are 2 minutes or less in some cases, there are hundreds of them, and you'll just want to watch every single one.
Oh, thank you. It's so encouraging. You know, this is our big day today.
Yeah.
We launched, and that was some of the members of my team there. We have a little show just for fun to brighten your day called Office Guinea Pigs. And I never would ask anybody in my team to do anything that I haven't done myself. So I've been in front of the camera doing some charcoal tooth whitening thing. But these are just some of the lighter, funner kinds of videos we have. And many of them are more, touching, making your heart open, tragedy to triumph. And
if you are ready to feel some feelings, this is the website to go to.
Well, it's the good news website. You know, we just wanted to reframe the conversation. We think that people are just hungry for hope and encouragement and good news stories, and that's what we wanted to start with lightworkers.com.
I think one of my favorite features that I have begun to start, I'm going to start my days with, is the 37 seconds of good news, which is a daily feature, right?
Yes.
And it's a little clip every day, 37 seconds of something beautiful and inspirational happening in the world.
Well, you can reframe your whole day. You get out of bed, you're having a bad day for whatever reason. It's raining, you've got a meeting you don't want to attend, whatever. You see something that opens your heart and reminds you that there are good people everywhere doing good things. And that's really what we wanted to celebrate, is the unsung hero. We ran a story last week about a fridge in India that was in the streets, and if you cooked too much food in your house, you could take your extra food down and put it in the fridge. And if you were hungry and you had nothing to eat, you could go to the fridge and take the food out. And we were able to retell that story in 37 seconds. It's heartwarming. It's something you would want to share. Maybe share with your mom, share with your sister, share with your boyfriend, whatever it is. And that's what we intend to do, is to create content that's snackable, shareable, digital, 2 to 5 minutes, the sweet spot, and that we can light up the world with the good news.
I love the description of a video as snackable.
Because
it is like a little bite-sized
bite-sized pieces. And that good news, we actually went out ahead of our launch to share the 37 seconds of good news. And we've had over 21 million hits on those stories on Facebook already.
Oh, before the launch even happened. My favorites are, there's one about a little girl who found out that some of her classmates couldn't pay for their school lunches. So she started a lemonade stand to pay for school lunches and did so well that now she's paying off the entire school district's back school lunch.
I know, there's some amazing stories out there, and we've been able to scour through the news. There's little gems. They just all get lost because there's just been so much there's so much bad stuff happening, and not to diminish that or that people are really struggling. I know they are. People are hurting out there. But consequently, people are more hungry for hope than ever. And we just wanted to create a space, a safe space, a family space that you could come into. Maybe we could switch the conversation into people talking about what is working, where the good people are.
Well, and it's not ignoring the fact that struggle is out there either. I mean, this is not just light without the darkness.
No, that's
so
right.
many of the stories
That's
and
right.
the videos are
But you
about...
can't shine a light. You can't tell a story about light without speaking about the darkness. And
Right.
it's when people have reached those sort of unspeakable places where they're at their most broken or they're at their most lost that they can dig deep and find the resilience, or somebody comes and helps them out. And we even have had some of our friends, celebrity friends, who've come on to share their stories of challenges or their stories of adversity or overcoming. And there's something, I think, when somebody allows themselves to be vulnerable, to say, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to struggle. When I first moved to America from Ireland, I, didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, and I checked coats in a restaurant on the Upper West Side. And, to be able to tell somebody who's beginning their life a story like that, then, there's people can identify and relate. And, you think if you it's just the sharing. So we had Van Morrison come on to share his story, and he sang for us, This Little Light of Mine,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it shine. And we had Cindy Crawford and Brooke Burke and Jeff Probst, of course, who stars in my husband's show Survivor. Have anybody you watched that?
I think we've heard of it, right?
I know it's still going.
Never missed a season.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going on Survivor?
Oh, I thought about it a long time ago. I remember the summer of 2000 when it first started, and I was like, I'm going to be on this show someday. No, I'm over that now. I don't think I could handle it.
Honestly, I have a real respect for anybody that has the courage to go on to a show like that, because I have visited many of those locations, places that I had never even heard of. So my husband came home and said, "Oh, we're going to Vanuatu." I was like, "We're going to where?" And we were staying in some nice hotel on these locations, but these people are literally dropped in the middle of nowhere with nothing. And there's giant bugs and extreme weather, and there's just a courage, I think, that's required to survive out there.
Well, speaking of courage, I read a story about you and you when you were in your youth. Is it true that you were working at a shoe store that blew up in Northern Ireland when you were a young woman?
Yeah, I lived in the city of Derry, also known as Londonderry, in Northern Ireland, and grew up in a time there where our troubles were really at their height during the 1970s. And one of the first jobs I ever had when I was still a high school student was as a Saturday girl in a shoe shop. And the shop did end up, the little mini mall that the shop was centered in was caught in an explosion. And thankfully, in that particular bomb, there was no injury. There had been warning given, and we were able to evacuate. But those were tense times for our people there. And the good news in our situation in Northern Ireland is that we have managed to come together and found peaceful resolution to our issues over there. And the town that I grew up in was divided by a river, and over the course of my childhood, the river was really a divider between people. And in recent years, a walking bridge has been built over that river, aptly called the Peace Bridge, and there's a natural flow between the communities. So we're very encouraged by that, and I think that we can look to Northern Ireland for places of conflict around the world and say, we were able to figure it out. Maybe there's something to be learned from how they did it over there.
There are so many stories on lightworkers.com that have similar arcs, whether it's an individual's struggle or a community's struggle. I watched a video, unfortunately it was like right after I put my makeup on, and then I had to get a touch-up because it was so moving. It was about a man, American man, who was born without arms and legs and was bullied at school and thought about ending his own life at 10 years old because he felt so outside of the world and unable to envision a future for himself, and how through the support of his family and his community and through faith in himself, he found a life for himself and
he's
loves
built
the world. And
Nick is a wonderful, and he's devoted his life now to motivational speaking.
Yeah.
He's a man of faith, and his faith has really buoyed him through. And he, graciously came and shared his story with us. I think, over the years, we've built up a lot of trust in both Mark and myself, and that people are willing to come and share their story with us has been a real critical part of the building bricks that have gone into making LightWorkers. And we're launching with almost 500 pieces of original content, both video and editorial.
That's why I'm saying
So-
you got to be careful when you sign in to watch 1 2-minute video, because you could fall down the rabbit hole in the best way.
Well, I hope you do. I mean, let's face it, we all fall down that rabbit hole. You're in there wondering, why is Reese Witherspoon really the tallest actress on the set, or whatever the things that draw you in. And before you know it, an hour's gone by and you think, what am I doing in here? And so understanding, I love social just as much as anybody. I'm on there posting, and I get a lot of my information in newsfeed through social platforms. So I understand that it's where it's at. And digital, I think, is where it's at. Our attention spans have probably shrank. We want to hear a story told in a short way, but you can still, the tools required to tell a meaningful story are the same, whether you're telling a 2-hour story, whether you're telling a 2-minute story. Mm-hmm. You need something that engages, something that excites, or something that moves. And certainly in digital, we want to be able to tell a story that you want to share. That's a critical part of what we're doing, that we can build a community of like-minded light workers, and the light really being the light of kindness, the light of compassion, and that we can engage in a new conversation where we remember that we're all part of the same community.
I love that you can watch a story that just brings tears of inspiration to the eyes, and then the next video you watch is an ode to donuts, which is just like a 1.5-minute long celebration of the glazed fried food that everybody loves.
Well, it's like, who doesn't love good news and who doesn't love donuts?
I know.
But we're telling stories across 4 verticals on Lightworkers. We've got entertainment, lifestyle, family, and faith. And so some of the stories can live in each of those verticals, but for the most part, they're living. But what the connective thread through each of them is that there's hope. And so really, if we had to sum up in one word, what is the light of Lightworkers? It's the light of hope and the light of connectivity, and just remembering. I think this theme of the bridge. That bridge of peace that echoes through my life. I'm always looking for ways through my work to find the places that we can be a bridge to the other, because it's in isolation that we can feel disconnected, that loneliness can come in, or sense of loss. And it's the minute that we reach out to help somebody else or to be available to somebody else emotionally that, that we engage in feeling like we belong. And I think everybody wants to have a sense of belonging. And something that's been very important to me as we put this together.
Thank you for doing it. The world just needs so much more light right now, and it's wonderful to have a destination for that.
Yes. Well, some years ago, just lying in bed with my honey, and, we'd putting the TV on at the end of the day, where what are we going to watch? And inevitably, you end up kind of watching the news roundup, which is a real disaster if you're trying to get a good night's sleep without anxiety. And I finally said to Mark, I can't do this. I can't watch the news. I go to bed with such fear and anxiety. And why can't we create a good news channel? And so in essence, that's what we've done here. And, it's been great to have been able to work all these years now with my own husband. I have girlfriends that joke with me and say, I couldn't even do the dishes with my husband. We would get into an argument about something. I said, no, I work with my best friend. We really are very reliant on each other. We bring different skill sets, we have different energies, but we have a lot of laughs too. We love what we do.
I think it's worth mentioning that you are the president of a company called LightWorkers that created this. So you are really an executive at the top of this company. I think a lot of people remember you very well from your work on television.
Yes.
Touched by an Angel touched so many people's lives. And I know that you have felt the presence of angels throughout your life, from, perhaps escaping that shoe store to having your break in the entertainment industry. And now you have acted as an angel for so many people just by bringing hope and light into the world.
Oh, well, Touched by an Angel was such a remarkable period, almost 10 years of my life being on that show. And it was such a joy to be able to be part of a message that really was inspiring to people, and to get to work with the ever fabulous and wonderful Miss Stella Reese. Yeah.
Some of the stories that you told
just
about
love her. She's still very much a vital part of my life. You know, she adopted me. My own mother had passed away when I was just a little girl of 10. And Ella's only daughter tragically passed away while we were working together. And she took me in her arms and she said, you know, baby, God is amazing, because I always knew he brought me into your life because you needed a mama. I just didn't realize that he brought you into my life because I was going to need a baby girl. She said, will you be my baby? I said, yeah. She said, I am your mama. Aww. And she's been my mom ever since, and I just love her to pieces. And, you know, that's a blessing. So she's really been an angel for me. The relationship that we explored together on camera as the angels, Monica and Tess, was echoed very much in our relationship off screen. That, you know, that was a real love, something she just can't fake, you know, and an authentic relationship, I think, is one of them. So it was a great blessing to me.
When did you last see her?
Maybe about a month ago or 3 weeks ago.
What do you guys do together?
We have lunch usually. You know, we just sit and catch up, and I showed her a few of the videos from from lightworkers.com, and she's like, you know, just so, you know, you keep shining your light. She said, you know, and so that's what I'm committed to do. And I've gathered a great scrappy little team. You know, we're a startup, you know, so it's a new endeavor. We're 25 people approximately. There's no I in team. And so I'm so grateful to each and every one of them. They've been working so hard to prepare us for this moment, for this day. And, you know, everybody just chips in, and we have a little studio at our, where we're able to film some things on site, you know, and so we've got a wide array of content. And I just encourage anybody, you know, listening or watching, or the group here in the room, to jump on tonight when you get back home, just to look up lightworkers.com and to see, you know, what we've got, because it's a noisy world out there, and it's hard when you're launching anything to cut through that noise. And so I just, you know, really hope that people come in and find it. I know when they do, they'll see that it's quality. It's really, you know, it's high quality. That's what we are known for. You know, we're in partnership with MGM. Mm-hmm. So we bring quality to this, quality short form. It's unique, it's engaging, and it's uplifting. It's hard to leave, you know, not feeling like your day has had some light added to it.
Absolutely. How did you find the contributors? Like, there's a great web series called Welcome to Brooklyn. That's a woman named Brooklyn, who's, I think, based in the Pacific Northwest,
yes,
not actually in Brooklyn, but her name. Yes, she's
Isn't
great.
She? Yeah,
and there's like a slam poetry style thing about dreams on there. How did you find these people?
Well, you know, it's like, I almost think it's like the Lighthouse. You just start. You know, we just started put the call out. You know, and we got them through different community groups. So we got people in our company just throwing out fishing nets. And we've got a lot of things have been sent to us to consider, to look at. A lot of it we've made ourselves, you know, so probably the majority of it is homespun ideas that we've just, you know, we sit in rooms and we throw ideas off of each other.
Someone says, I am making an ode to sour cream. And then they do.
But food is such an important part of the conversation,
course,
isn't it? I mean, I love to eat. And some of my happiest times are around the table and just as we gather together to talk, you know, to break bread together, to be in conversation together. And I know my husband and I raised 3 children together, and some of our happiest times as a family are around the table when we catch up on everybody's day. And, you know, we always had a rule in our house that we would turn the phones off at dinner, and then we would turn the TV off, and then we would really try and show up for each other. And, you know, what about that concept? That you're actually just there and present, and even if it's just 45 minutes or an hour before everybody would run to their rooms, you know, my kids dying to get up to get into whatever they were doing. And but that we really showed, and to this day, now they're all young adults, and we just look forward to that time together. It's the most important time in building family relationships and building any relationship. So food, I think, is central. So yeah, you'll come in. We've got, you know, food preparation. We've got
oh my God,
lunches for kids, little kids.
The pizza waffle recipe. I'm going to go home and do it tonight. It's like in the parenting section, and I don't have kids, but I want to make pizza pockets on a waffle iron.
Well,
thanks, lightworkers.com.
I know, and some of it is so humbling because we got Bo who's doing these great little lunches for kids, and he's so creative with these things.
I
It's
know.
like they're just gorgeous. He's making little soccer fields in the lunchbox, and you're thinking, I was like, I never did that. You know, I was like, we'll get a snackable and we're out the door, you know. But great ideas. It's like there's something, you know, just a little bit for everything.
I think, well, I want to ask you perhaps an unfair question. Do you have a favorite video on lightworkers.com?
Oh gosh, that's like asking if you have a favorite kid.
Except in this case, you have 450 kids.
Yeah. Well, you know, my own heart opens up when I really see people overcoming challenges. You know, I find that's the most inspiring when we really understand that somebody has you know, fallen down, but either through, you know, friendship or through, you know, their own strength of spirit or through their faith in God or whatever it is, that they've been able to stand back up. So those are the stories. We have a series on here called I Struggle, I Rise. And, you know, I always think that those leg muscles really are that overcoming spirit that, you know, we all get knocked down, but can you get back up again? And I think that these stories are there just, you know, they're short, but they're impactful. And that has to be up there with one of my favorite series. And I also love Michelle McKinney-Hammond. And she just says it like it is. You know, she's just
Tough
giving
But
you
Fair is her
Tough
series,
but
right?
Fair.
Yep.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
she's a
great.
big personality.
She said in one of her videos, if you take the L's out of loneliness, you get one-I-ness. Concentrate on being your own self, your one-I-ness, and you'll never have loneliness again.
She's great. She also is on there speaking about dating. And she's saying, you know, check out, if you're dating somebody, check out their friends. And, you know, you don't like their friends? Well, trust me, when you're not around, he's just like his friends, you know. And she's just so funny, the way she expresses herself. And, you know, it's like loads of fun.
Well, you've given us a lot of great starting points for that rabbit hole that we're all going to go home and fall down tonight at lightworkers.com. I'd love to take a couple of questions from the audience if you're up for that.
Hi, thank you for being here. So Lightworkers sounds like, you know, a platform with so many possibilities. Are there any specific content creators or filmmakers or basically anyone else that you'd like to collaborate with in the future?
Oh gosh, any number of people. So for, you know, we're always open to ideas and, you know, opportunity to tell those encouraging stories. Another series that we have on there that, you know, is I think that you really would enjoy is where we have engaged with a lot of celebrities that, you know, we're very connected because of the work that we do and the music shows that my husband has and so on. So we're hoping to pull in a lot more of those people because I think that there's really, you know, we see, sometimes you think of celebrity life as being the charmed life and that they, you know, they don't have any issues, so there's nothing going on, no problems in their lives. And there's something I think can be very strong in hearing how somebody really overcame. And, you know, we're just looking for those stories of encouragement.
Would you ever consider doing something with Della on this platform, a little reunion of sorts?
Oh, gosh, I would certainly love to do that. I don't know if Miss Della at this time in her life is, you know, never say never. She's beloved, certainly. She's like a beloved icon in our country, Della, and I know at the very least, if we don't get her on camera with us, that we have her blessing on the project.
Sure. Let's take another question.
Hi, I just wanted to thank you for being here. I love the message behind Lightworkers and the fact that you're trying to spread the positivity and the light and also touching on the darkness. I was wondering, as an actress, what could I do in my capacity to help out?
Well, I just thank you. Thank you, first of all, for a willingness to help out would be, at the very least, just to get on and start looking at the content and the things that you genuinely respond to like them on there. We're across all social platforms, so you'll find us on Facebook. You'll find us, if you come into the .com online, you'll find us on Instagram and on Twitter, and maybe just to like and repost, and just engage in that way would be great. But exciting for you as you're starting out your career as an actress, and I think it's one of the best times to be an actor, because there's so much content, So I know when I was starting out, there were just a couple of networks, and now there's so many opportunities. So I really wish you all the best with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have time for one more question.
Hi. So I was wondering, do you look at some of the feedback or see like how helpful it has been, LightWorkers has been for some of the people, and are there certain regions that have been like where it's helped them more, like for instance like where like right now the areas affected by the hurricanes or the earthquakes that might need like a little bit more light?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we are trying to do to really connect people through the community that we're establishing, and our heart, of course, goes out to everybody that was impacted by the recent storms and the hurricanes and the earthquake, and it just seems to be one disaster after another, and it's really been a hard time for folks. One of the companies that we have partnered with at launch is the Carnival Cruise Line, and they have a cruise within their big corporate lines that's called Fathom, which is a group that dives deeper into cultural experiences to the countries that they go to, and we are partnering with them to make some content to show how travelers even are able to give back. So I think it's an important point that you raise, and something that we at LightWorkers feel very committed to. And then the other thing that's very exciting for us in this digital world, remembering I come out of TV and the film world, is that digital allows us to track immediately what people are responding to. So this is a new technology that we can tell how many people have come in, how many people watch this story versus that story, what excited people about this versus that, who they are, what age they are, what gender they are, what part of the country they're in. So there's so much information that can be gathered that we can start crafting and delivering sort of specifically what people are looking for. And because I think that's an important part of this, that we're creating, we want to create a world that people want to share, and a world that encourages compassion and kindness and giving back.
Thank you so much, Roma, for being here and for creating an outlet for light for people to make it easy for people to share hope, encouragement, and goodness, because we all know the world needs more of that right now. Yeah, it's been a joy to have you here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Thank you.